jump on. Today we are going to be discussing some of the myths and some of the rumors about the coronavirus, and basically prevention. You know, how to take measures to take care of yourself and your family, and discussing those that are at risk. So when you hop on, say hi, let me know you're here, where you're from. Hey Lori. Hi Melissa. So we're going to discuss some of the myths and the rumors going on around the coronavirus. I've been paying close attention to a lot of the medical releases that are going out. Not necessarily the news, but more so what's being said by Johns Hopkins and Harvard and the CDC and very reputable sources. So let's address some of those concerns we have here. I do have notes, so don't mind me if I'm looking at my pad. But to start, let's kind of discuss what the coronavirus is. So the coronaviruses are actually a family of viruses that are commonly found in animals. They're not usually transmitted to humans, which is probably why this is causing such a scare, because this is one of the few times that it has transmitted to humans, and there's a lot that they don't know right now. In order to contract the virus, you need to be around somebody that is actively sick. So it's not people that are 2 or 3 away from somebody that's actively sick. It's more or less you're actively sick and you have symptoms, you're coughing, you're sneezing, you have a fever, and you're around me, then you're contagious. This is also up for some debate, because they are saying that they're not fully sure how it's being contracted, because coronaviruses themselves can live on a surface anywhere from 2 hours to 9 days. That's a huge time frame, and they haven't narrowed it down to a point of exactly how people are contracting it. The ways that they thought it was being contracted is not. It's kind of, they're finding that that's not the only way that it's being contracted. They even, World Health Organization even put out a release about money and using cash and paper, and that was one way that they're thinking could possibly be a way of spreading it. Stuffy nose, is that a symptom? Stuffy nose is more that of like a cold. Could be a sinus infection. It could be a variety of things. If that's your only symptom, I would not think that was a major concern. But basically what they're telling people is, don't rush to an ER if you have a stuffy nose, or if you're not feeling well, or even if you have a fever, because if you had the flu, would you run to the ER? Maybe if you didn't have health insurance, but most people would go to their primary care doctor or an urgent care center, which is something that they want people to do, is to treat it in a non-emergency way, because 80% of the people that actually get the virus will just have minor symptoms or flu-like symptoms and will actually be okay. It's the other 20% that they're concerned with, which is those with weakened immune systems, specifically the elderly, diabetics, those that have any sort of cardiac condition. I think the highest number of deaths from this virus has been those that had a cardiac condition. They've now even said today that smokers and people that are vaping, because your respiratory system is compromised because you're a smoker or a vapor, you're considered at risk. So this is why it's so alarming to people, because there's just so much that they don't know, and it's amazing. I'm seeing rumors just flying everywhere, and they're just unfounded. People are just hearing something and they're running with it, and it's causing this craze. Should you be worried? Absolutely. Especially if you're a caregiver for somebody who has any sort of chronic illness, special needs, respiratory issue, an elderly person. You should absolutely be concerned. Concerned for bringing the virus to them, concerned for if they get the virus, how it could affect them. you should be concerned. You shouldn't be alarmed to a point where it's causing a hysteria. And the media is absolutely a huge component of why there's so much hysteria going on. Another rumor that has been going around that I've seen a lot today was that weather and temperature, the warm weather is killing the virus. This has not been found to be true. They do not yet know if the weather or the temperature is going to affect the virus. They're still doing a lot of studying about it. So there's again, it's not known, but yet people are saying today we had a beautiful day in the East Coast, so therefore it's killing the virus. That's not found to be true. One of the things that I haven't really seen much about, but I have read about, is the concern for pets. A lot of people have their little fur children, and they, given the fact that coronavirus is primarily come from animals, you want to protect your animals. So what the Center for Disease Control suggests is that if you are having symptoms and you have a dog or a cat, you should not be taking care of that dog or the cat, because you can give it to the dog or the cat. You want to keep them protected as well. So if you're showing symptoms and you're the only person that can care for your pet, wear a mask and wash your hands. I mean, everyone's going crazy about the antibacterial, the hand sanitizers, and it's not a substitute for soap. It is not a substitute for soap and water. And it's like going back to basics here. Let's go back to kindergarten where they taught you to sing the alphabet or sing happy birthday while washing your hands for 20 seconds. It doesn't mean run your hands under the water for 20 seconds. It means like lather them up real well and then rinse them for the last 5 seconds. But let that soap really kill some of the germs on your hands. There's no substitute for that. And if you can't get hand sanitizer, carry around a little thing of soap. You know what? You'll probably have water. If you don't have water, use soap, rinse your hand, with your hands, and get a bottle of water and rinse them that way. I mean, go old school if that's a concern. Antibacterial hand sanitizer is not the primary way that you should be taking care of washing your hands. Use soap and water. That's definitely the best. Absolutely. So any questions thus far? Or I'm happy to answer them. I've been doing a lot of reading about this, and feel free to throw any questions out there. If I have an answer, I'll give it to you. If I don't, I'll certainly get back to you. I'll look into it. So then we come to ways to prevent it. Honestly, besides washing your hands, which you've heard about 1,000 times on probably every news outlet, TV, and everyone is just washing your hands. It can't be said enough. Boost your immune system. For those that have a weakened immune system, boost it. I've been taking vitamin C supplements every day along with zinc and probiotics just to boost my immune health. And I just, those are some ways. If you don't want to take supplements, getting about a minimum of 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C every day is something that would help you boost your immune system. You got fruits. There's a lot of vitamin C in fruits. Berries have a lot of antioxidants. They're also will help you. The zinc, zinc is a huge immune booster. And there are 2 different types of zinc. Zinc gluconate is the one that's more common, and that's mostly what you'll find on store shelves. It's a less expensive form of zinc, but it does not, your body doesn't absorb as much of that zinc as the zinc picolinate, I think it is, which is a lot more expensive. So if you're going to get the one that's on the shelves, the recommended daily allowance is 11 milligrams of zinc, but if you are using it for immune boosting, you want closer to 40 milligrams. And given the fact that you are not going to absorb all of it, like I bought the zinc tablets that I bought, it had 50 milligrams in it, and I take it once a day. So, but it's the zinc glucolinate, which doesn't absorb as much. So I'm not worried about it for being over, taking too much zinc. What about for children? Children seem to be okay with this virus. It seems that the number of children that are infected is such a small amount. They're not even sure why that is either. I mean, they're happy about it, but it seems that the young children that are not immunocompromised seem to be okay. The other thing that I've recommended to people for immune health is bee propolis, which is basically bee venom. And this is something that Memorial Sloan Kettering gives to or recommends to their cancer patients that are undergoing chemo and don't have an immune system. This helps fight off infection before it gets to your immune system. If you do go that route with bee venom or bee propolis, you want to make sure that you get it from Brazil. Not all are created equal. The best way to take the bee venom, the bee propolis, is sublingual. You want the liquid. It's got a higher concentrate. If you get a pill, that's fine. It just does not. It's not as it's just not as fast acting, and it's not as concentrated as the liquid. And you want to get about 70 milligrams a day if you're going to go with for immune health for the bee venom, bee propolis. And there are like red. There's red bee propolis. There's green, and I believe brown. The red I know is for heart health. So for those that have any sort of, which is very common for cardiac conditions, you go with the Brazilian red. I know that there are some that sell all three together, but they're in pill form. I have not seen all three together that are in liquid form. So if you find it, let me know, and I'll certainly look into it. So that's another way to just boost your immune system. Drinking lots of water. Water hydration for your body is extremely important. Some of the things that people don't realize is that the dry heat dries out your nasal passageways and therefore leaves you more susceptible to germs. An ER nurse once gave me a little tip, which I've used regularly. She would put triple antibiotic ointment just on a Q-tip and rub it on the inside lining of her nostrils when she would work in the winter in the ER, because the dry heat plus all of the germs coming in, it used to expose her to all different germs. And I started doing that when I fly, and I haven't had any issues. It keeps the moisture in my nose, because when you're on a plane that close with a lot of people, I do fly a lot, so it's worked for me, and it makes sense. What's the type of zinc again? So the zinc, Lori, you can get it in like a Walgreens or a CVS, pretty inexpensive. I know Walgreens has them on sale right now. I think they're like buy one, get one. It's the zinc gluconate, Gluconate. That's probably, it's the less expensive one. A lot of the pill bottles that you'll find will have about 50 milligrams, which is fine. You just take one a day of that, and that boosts immune health. Also, it helps with if some sort of skin issues. A lot of zinc helps with wound care as well, which I don't know if a lot of you knew. Shaking hands is a no-no. Shaking hands is not ideal, Danny. You want to make sure that if you do shake hands or you're at a business meeting and you shake someone's hand, that's okay. Just make sure that you excuse yourself and just go wash your hands right after. Be sure not to touch your face, your mouth, your eyes. People don't realize how often they touch their eyes or their nose and their mouth, and those are the ways that you're actually infecting yourself. Germs don't just get absorbed in through your skin. It's not like hand lotion. They need to find a way in, and that's how they'll find their way in through your open orifices. So your nose, your eyes, and your mouth, and that's how they get in. The safe distance to keep from somebody, they're now recommending, as of yesterday, is 3 to 6 feet is the safe distance to be away from someone. But the downside, the issue with this virus is that they don't know how it's being spread. They can't confirm how it's being spread. It's being spread in many different ways. So keeping distance, by what does that mean? I mean, does that mean, okay, if you're sitting here, should someone be sitting 6 feet away from you? Or does that mean that if somebody's walking ahead of you, should you be walking 6 feet behind them? Personally, I don't think you should be walking behind that person. given the fact of what I've been reading, the way I'm interpreting it is that with the virus, if you're, let's say you have the flu and you're talking to me, and your germs, as you're talking to me, your germs are coming at me through the moisture in your mouth, right? So that's one of the ways that people can contract viruses. When you leave, you take your flu and your flu germs with you. When with this coronavirus, you're not necessarily taking those germs with you. They're not sure. They said that it can live, the coronaviruses themselves can live anywhere from 2 hours to 9 days. So they're not really sure if when you leave, is your virus still staying right there in front of me and now I'm still breathing it in, and the next person that walks through it, are they being exposed to it? Or is it that it's just on surfaces? They're not sure. So all of these news outlets are reporting on so many things when, you know, the World Health Organization and the CDC and all of these top medical universities don't have answers. So I'm not really sure how the press has answers for half of these things when the medical community doesn't. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do this live, is because there's so many rumors flying around. And I just wanted to put some of them like to rest, because at the end of the day, it's causing like a hysteria, and people, the only people that really need to be concerned are those that are immunocompromised, such as elderly, and now as of this weekend, they're saying smokers, those with diabetics, and those that, if you are a caregiver, like I know I worry about my dad. He's 72 years old. You know, I've told him he needs to start taking his vitamins. I want him to take his vitamin C. I want to, you know, and he's just like, oh, it's just like the flu. But it's not, because the flu has been around for so long, and they actually know so much more about it, and they know the statistics. They actually said over the weekend that they are predicting that the mortality rate of the coronavirus is going to supersede that of the flu. So it's really about protecting those that you're caring for. It's protecting the elderly, protecting, you know, those that are immunocompromised. The average person, if you have, you may not even know that you're immunocompromised. There are people that walk around that don't even know they have certain diseases, and they'll find out when they, you know, if they contract something, that they were immunocompromised. So there's so much that they don't know. So yes, you should be concerned, but you should not be going insane and stocking up on toilet paper, which I still don't understand, for months worth of toilet paper. If that's the thing, I was in Costco actually, and there was no toilet paper, and I don't get that. Is that like a major concern for people? Like, when you're not feeling well, toilet paper is a thing to go to. I get the Lysol wipes, I even get the water, but I don't get the toilet paper. I mean, worst case, you know, I'm sure you'd come up with something, but certain things I'm finding amusing, the people's reaction to some things. I was watching a video of 3 women that were getting into a fist fight over toilet paper. I don't see it. So, that's pretty much most of my information. And if you have any questions, or you want more details about some of the things that I mentioned, as far as, you know, immune health and taking care of yourself. Oh, and for those that are wearing masks, it's only good if you're the one that's sick. So if you're a healthy person, wearing a mask is not going to protect you from getting sick. You still have airways. There's still air getting in there. So it's not going to protect you. It's more, masks are for if you are a person that's sick and you're visiting somebody who's at risk or has an immune compromised disorder, and you don't want to give your germs to them. So if you're not feeling well, by all means, put on a mask. Absolutely put on a mask. But I know that I see people walking around in masks and drawing little faces and bunnies on them. I've seen them in the city, and I just, maybe it's an in thing. Maybe people are, it's a new style right now given the situation, but it's not going to protect you from getting the virus. Um, People are afraid that they will be quarantined and will run out. Well, the thing is, if you're quarantined and you don't have a mask, I'm sure that you can, stay away from the people in your house. Like if you're living with people and you're quarantined, you don't want to make them contagious. But if you're quarantined, should you really be out in the public? It's common courtesy and common sense. I feel like if you're under a quarantine because you're not feeling well and you might have symptoms, or you tested positive and you're on a mandatory quarantine, probably shouldn't be leaving your house. So let's, use some common sense here. And yeah, and oh, the toilet paper, that's what Lori, how much toilet paper does somebody use that they would be worried? How you quarantine for 2 weeks? You use like 50 rolls of toilet paper in 2 weeks? If you do, I think you have a bigger problem than the coronavirus. I think you need to see a gastroenterologist for sure. I mean, it's just, you want to hoard things like, hoard canned goods or something. I mean, this isn't the apocalypse, but sorry. I'm getting a little crazy with my opinions. It's been a little interesting seeing how people are reacting. And I understand the hysteria and I understand the anxiety, but put your concern where it should be, which is protecting those around you, the elderly, those that are immunocompromised, those that have chronic illness. Protect those that need the protecting. Not worrying about toilet paper. It's put your powers towards good, not evil. It's silliness. And wash your hands. I mean, you can't say that enough. People were, I know people that have paid like $50 for a bottle of hand sanitizer. That's insane. I'm like, just, carry around a bottle of soap with you. Yeah, I'm like, I know I got about 50 of them in my medicine cabinet when I get them from Bath and Body when they're on sale. Like, I'll just carry that around and wash my hands with a bottle of water. I mean, it's not, they're people don't, price gouging is another issue, but it's unfortunate that companies are doing that. So let's recap some of this because I feel like there were some newer people on. You want to boost your immune system, 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C a day. If you do more than that, you probably would want to do it under a physician supervision, because too much vitamin C, you need to be under a doctor's medical care. But safely, you can do 1,000 milligrams, which I think that is what all those emergency, and I'm not by any means like promoting emergency, but I think that theirs are 1,000 milligrams. I just bought the capsules for the 1,000 milligram vitamin C. I don't like the way those emergency taste, so I can't run. I'm not a fan. But I know they have 1,000 milligrams, so there are some people that are doing that every day. And the zinc, 50 milligrams of zinc. Well, you want 40 if you get in the zinc gluconate, then gluconate, then get the 50 because your body doesn't absorb it all. And antioxidants and the bee venom for those that want to take things a step further, or for those that are even immunocompromised. I would recommend the bee venom or the bee propolis, the same thing, because it's a stronger way to protect yourself. So, any questions? Any concerns that I can answer for you guys? Any other funny stories that you've heard of, that you've seen people flipping out about? I mean, it's been interesting. I mean, and at the end of the day, if you don't feel well, quarantine yourself. They're like, if you have a fever or a cough, or you think you might have the flu, go see your medical doctor. Put on a mask, or if you don't have a mask, put on, I'm sure you can find a t-shirt or something to cover yourself if you're going to be around a lot of people. You know, if you're going to cough or sneeze, use your arm, cough into your sleeve. Things that we were taught in grammar school. Protect those around you. Absolutely. It's just, a lot of it's common sense. And hopefully that nobody on here gets sick. And that everyone finds ways to protect themselves and their family. And if there's no real questions, I will end the live. Thank you all for joining me and for listening to my funny toilet paper stories. Have a good night, everyone. Bye.